What's up guys, Lon here from Android Authority, and today Google had their Google I/O keynote where they of course talked a lot about Android Q, and they also rolled out the Android Q Beta 3 update for Pixel devices, but you can also flash this on a bunch of non-Pixel Android phones like the OnePlus 6T, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and go over some of the changes you can expect to see in the Android Q Beta 3, and also some of the changes you can expect to see in Android Q when it rolls out officially later on this year. So I have the Android Q Beta 3 release running on my Pixel 3 XL, and while Android Q focuses a lot on quality of life improvements and under the hood improvements, that doesn't mean that there aren't some aesthetic or visual changes. And one of the biggest and probably most long overdue changes is an official dark theme. So if you scroll down and check your notification shade, you now have an actual toggle for dark theme, which you can enable just by tapping on it. And this was a feature that was sort of seen in the Beta 1 release, but if you didn't have dark mode enabled on Pi before flashing Q, you didn't have the dark mode. And if you wanted it, you had to enable it through ADB, and it was sort of a janky experience. But now you actually have the official dark mode on Beta 3 with a toggle to turn it on and off, which is really nice. And as you can see, it does give you a true black, at least in your notification shade and also in your settings menu, and your notifications themselves will also be blacked out as well. But not everything is 100% true black, so you don't get battery saving properties across the board if you have an AMOLED screen. So if you take a look at your app drawer, for example, it's sort of it has an opacity effect to it. And the same thing applies with the Google feed. So the background is transparent, and then your Google cards are actually more of a dark shade of gray. So you don't actually get any battery saving properties from that. But overall, I think it looks really good, and it's nice to finally have it officially baked into Android. With the Beta 3 update, Google has also changed the way that gesture controls work. So now it's completely 100% gesture based. This means that there's no more back button, and it's a little bit more similar to the iPhone or the OnePlus 6T, but it's also a little bit different as well. So if you swipe up from the pill down at the bottom there, it does take you home, and if you swipe up and hold, this will take you into your recent applications. You can also get to your recent apps by swiping right on the bar below, and this will take you through each individual app one by one. And if you want to go back, you just swipe inwards from either the left or the right side. If I swipe in here, it'll take me back, and I swipe in from the right, it'll also take me back. Now, one thing that this does sort of get rid of is you can't swipe in from applications that have a hamburger menu now. So Google Play, for example, if you swipe in, it's not going to bring the hamburger menu open. It's just going to take you back. So instead, you're going to have to tap on the icon instead to open it. So that's a little bit different. And the swipe in to go back will take some getting used to. But overall, I do like this gesture navigation way better than the one that we had with Android Pie. Google's also focusing a lot on privacy and security with Android Q, and with the Android Q Beta 3 update, there is now a dedicated privacy section in the settings menu that pretty much puts privacy front and center, and it makes things a lot easier to find, like your app permissions, for example, which has now been renamed to Permissions Manager, is now only a couple of taps away, whereas in Android Pie, it was a little bit more buried. They're also adding a new feature called location reminders, because there are a ton of apps out there that use our location, and it can be hard to keep track of what all those apps are. So location reminders will basically be like, hey, this app is still using your location, and you'll have the option to change the way that it accesses your location if you want. Perhaps the biggest change with privacy and security is the way that Google is handling their security updates. So now security updates are going to be over the air, and they're pretty much going to be updated the same way that apps from the Google Play Store are being updated. So this means that you're going to get security updates a lot faster, and you're also going to be able to update your phone without having to reboot it. And this will probably benefit a lot of other OEMs out there that aren't quite as quick with security updates. So it's pretty much going to be a win-win situation for everybody. Google also talked about a lot of features today that we won't be seeing until later on this year, and one of those features is called Live Caption, and Live Caption is meant to benefit people that are deaf or hard of hearing with instant caption, and it's going to work across pretty much any application that produces audio. So whether that's a video app like YouTube, an audio application like Podcasts, or even video chat apps like Google Duo, and it's processed completely locally so third parties can't listen in on it, and you can also use it when you're offline. Another feature that you can expect to see with Android Q is something called Focus Mode, and this is another digital well-being feature that's meant to separate you more from your phone and allow you to do other things. So you can disable any apps of your choice to prevent you from getting distracted and allow you to focus on other stuff. And it's sort of like the app timers in digital well-being minus the whole timer part of it. And the cool thing about this feature is that it's not only just coming to Android Q, but it's also going to be available with Android Pie devices as well later on this fall. Google's also adding something else called Family Link, which is going to allow you to set screen time limits, approve app installs, and also set bedtimes. The next feature that I want to mention is called Smart Replies, and Smart Replies isn't necessarily new, it already exists in Android, but Google's making some improvements to it to make it even better in Android Q. So it's going to work across all messaging apps in Android Q, and on top of these suggested replies that you get, you're also going to get something called suggested actions. So for example, if somebody sends you an address, instead of copying the address, opening up Google Maps, and then pasting the address and conducting a search, you can now do all of that with a simple press of a button, which not only saves you a lot of steps, but ultimately a lot of time. Before I wrap up this video, there's a couple of other things that I want to mention with Android Q. One, it's going to have native support for 5G, and two, it's also going to support foldable devices and have a feature called app continuity. So for example, if you're playing a game when the phone is folded up and you happen to unfold it, the app will automatically rescale to fit the main display and also be exactly where you left off. But that's pretty much it for Android Q and the Beta 3 release. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let us know what feature of Android Q is your favorite. Leave that again in the comments. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. We definitely appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys in the next video.